Hello everyone, and welcome back to our fall series of Youth Power PDX's Speak Up, Sing Out, where we are featuring musicians, panel speakers, and visual artists from local Portland youth. Check out our website at youthpowerpdx.org, and I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, which are 350 PDX, Friends of Noise, and the City Repair Project, as well as our community partners, which is Pocketbook, Morpheus Youth Project, Friends of the Children, Bodecker Foundation, and Next Up. I'm Kaylee Miner, and I'll be your host for this evening, and I'd like to welcome Slug Trial, aka Tier, who will be our first artist of the evening. Tier is an indie rock creative who expresses through music and songwriting, as well as color. He has a broad range of musical style interests because they are moved by so many artists who express such beautiful work in a variety of styles. He was raised by parents who played music for him every day of his life, from many musical periods and styles. He had the privilege of getting exposure to so much art and artistic expression throughout their life. Tier loves that art can communicate to people where we are and how much we all share in our joy, confusion, and pain. So welcome, Slug Trial.
Hey there.
It's so great to have you on tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I just jump straight into it. I got like 6 songs from my upcoming EP.
Yeah, I know you got a bunch of songs, so we can get right into that. Yeah, I'm so excited to hear some of it.
Thank you so much. This one is called Bland. It's about just like going through the motions, kind of getting stuck in ruts, not really moving forward. Things get so bland, it's burning out in my cold hands. Shredded letters lay across the floor, and speaking my mind becomes so hard. Swords moving from floodings before murky water fills all the holes. Shit's been feeling pointless, floating through aimlessly into no end. In my hands where I'll be found. Fuck it, put the weight on me. I'll try my best to let it go. In an age of insecurity, catastrophize in the finest fashion. I don't feel right, but I'll survive. Lips chapped, not for lack of trying, but I'll survive. Life's a bore, you feel ignored. Were those shallow words you used to leave behind before? Trying to find nothing's guaranteed in a world I can't control. These creatures hide in the trees. Am I dreaming? Is it even real? In my hands where I'll be found. Fuck it, put the weight on me. I'll try my best to let it go. In an age of insecurity, catastrophize in the finest fashion. I don't feel right, but I'll survive. Lips chapped, sick of voice crying out. It's a little out of tune, but I actually have to retune it, so that's Bland.
That was great. I'm so excited for your next song. What's it called?
This next one is called High Functioning Stone. I just got to retune down to Not Dad Fed, because that one's all emo Death Cab for Cutie suspended chords.
I don't know any of what that means, but the first was done again, so I'm sure it'll work.
Oh yeah. All right, we're in tune. This one's called High Functioning Stoner. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's also about I want to be a high functioning sober person. I've been such a high functioning stoner guy. I just wish that I could stand me sober. Fear on your breath, please take a breath. And fuck a Halloween party, I just need quiet. Hush, hush, baby sleeping. Hush, hush, neighbors listening. Hush, hush, my heart starts bleeding. Can't let daddy hear you weeping. I'm on edge, and the moon looks crooked from my bed. I don't feel quite fine. I'll try my best to hide behind the pine. When it subsides, you'll come to find me in a ditch, out in the cold, reaching out for something new to pick me up when it gets old. Fuck, just focus, you can't seem to. Busy thinking about what the other people are up to. Anxious, depressed, you're gonna waste your days just sitting in bed, watching paint chip away. Hush, hush, baby sleeping. Hush, hush, neighbors creeping. Gush, gush, my heart starts bleeding. Can't let daddy hear you weeping. I'm on edge, and the moon looks crooked from my bed. I don't feel quite fine. I'll try my best to hide behind the pine. When it subsides, come to find me in a ditch, out in the cold, reaching out for something new to pick me up when it gets old. It's High Functioning Stoner. Thank you.
I loved it. So
Thank
what's up?
This next song I'm playing is called Gorgonzola. It's a song about my girlfriend. She's hiding, but she's here.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it's called Gorgonzola. Because when I was falling for her over text, I kept on autocorrecting gorgeous to Gorgonzola, the cheese. So I kept on calling her like a really gorgeous cheese. But somehow she likes me, so it worked out. All right, this one's called Gorgonzola. Or no, this is Gorgonzola. I know I don't have a lot of cash or an expensive car. In fact, I can't even drive, so I don't even own a car at all. Yeah, I know there's a lot of options prettier than I. So learning for your heart regardless of the fight. Step on me, though you still give me butterflies. I'll try my best not to say something dumb to you. I'll try to come off confident and smooth. What if we had a picnic in the park? I'll take any excuse to hang with you. What if we stayed outside after dark in your car? Tried the best to count the freckles on each other's arms. My heart is racing, yet I still feel at peace with you. Yeah, words can't express the comfort that you give off. Ooh, I'm feeling frazzled, speaking gibberish to you. God, I'm losing my composure, falling so damn hard for you. Step on me, just one kiss is all I need to pull me through. Girl, that's what you always do. Choke me out, you never let a better word escape my mouth. Hold me tight when everyone's gone, you're right here by my side. Everyone's gone, you're right here by my side. I love you too. That's Gorgonzola. Yeah.
I loved it, and the background is so sweet. That makes it so much better.
Oh, thank you.
Should we explain the one step lyric?
Oh yeah, the step on me lyric is because that's how I DM'd her. I was like, I really, really want to talk to this girl, but I have no idea what to start it with. So step on me seemed like a good call.
I love it.
Yeah. This one is called Dev. It's about a friend of mine who passed away a couple years back. And I was just feeling low and wanting to write something to prolong her memory. So I wrote Deb. Her name is not Deb. Debbie Downer. Nobody ever really wanted to be around her. Debbie, once they found her, everybody loved her so. Debbie, looking all around her. Some spare change for the bus ride down there. Debbie, running low on power. Sex won't be received. Something free, yeah. I need a capo. What's wrong? I forgot to put a capo. There's capo 6. All right, can I restart that song? I'm gonna restart the song.
That's fine. We have 3 minutes left in your slot.
No, yeah, sick. I want to get that note right because I know I can. Debbie Downer. Nobody ever really wanted to be around her. Debbie, once they found her, everybody loved her so. Debbie, looking all around her. Some spare change for the bus ride down there. Debbie, running low on power. Sex won't be received. Something free, cut it out. I'm feeling something, at least that's something. Debbie, I'm looking for closure. Wish that I could just walk right over, but your parents moved last October. The whole house red, you'd have probably hated it. Probably made other friends, couldn't take the weight of it. Lucky them, someone to remember you by. I remember seeing the coffin, didn't have the heart to look inside. Sick of cutting all my corners. going back down. Play it off like a poser, but I'm still going to be daily. I'm trying to find time to move on, back on track with my own life. To be barely, I'll try to be alright. Just wish you had stuck around. That's Deb. But better and not out of key.
I love that set. So do you have any other songs, because your slot is almost over?
We can actually take a break. I'll be playing more songs tomorrow, so we can hold off on the rest, and I can answer some questions if you'd like.
Okay, sounds great. I have 2 questions, and then we will get to our next set. So my first is, what interested you about making music?
Honestly, it was the self-expression side of it. I've always had a really hard time talking, and like with music, it made it easier to express myself in ways that I didn't know how to speak. Because it was just like feelings. I didn't necessarily have to put words to what I was feeling. I could just write a song that's ambiguous, and I don't know, the lyrics can mean something to me. And I don't know, it's like taking issues I'm having with my day-to-day life, and I write a song and I deal with that issue, and I like can now put it away. It's like it's its own thing. The thing I was dealing with at the time is now on a piece of paper, and there's a melody to it, and sometimes there's drums, and I don't know, it becomes something separate from myself, and in a way that it's like better. It's less sad a lot of the time, because I'm a sad boy.
That's beautiful. My second question is, how would you define youth intersectionality?
Youth intersectionality?
Mm-hmm.
Define intersectionality for me.
Well, that's your question. Like, what does it mean when youth of different backgrounds converge?
I think that it can create really powerful groups of people, and kids especially, because like there's a lot of adults who are trying to, I don't know, control the scene and how kids are growing up. But I think a big part of growing up is figuring it out. And when kids come together to like put on shit like this, it's super cool, because you get so many different types of people from different backgrounds and walks of life all coming together for like the same reason. Everybody here adores music and art and poetry. And I think that's super cool. And I think youth intersectionality would be like people of all different types of life, all walks, coming together to support like good shit and moving things forward, like helping lower income communities and helping put on shows like this and create opportunities for people who wouldn't have them in the first place.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And if you loved his music, which you should have, he'll be back at 9:30 tomorrow, and with a more extensive interview, which will be cool. So thank you for joining us once again. Coming up next, we have Venus Dance at 9:30. So make sure to check back in. Yeah, thank you all.
Do you see you? Can you see the cords and stuff too on the floor or no? Go back and I'll fix it for you. Hello. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our fall series of Youth Power PDX's Speak Up, Sing Out event, where we are featuring musicians, panelists, and visual artists from local Portland youth. Check out our website at youthpowerpdx.org for additional information as well as our event schedule. And I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors and community partners, which is 350 PDX, Friends of Noise, and the City Repair Project, as well as Pocketbook, Morpheus Youth Project, Friends of the Children, Bodector Foundation, and Next Up. I'm Kaylee Miner, your host for the evening, and I would like to introduce our next artist, which is Venus Moon, who will be dancing today. They're more of a shy person, so doing this showcase is a huge step for her. She really enjoys dancing, and it keeps them at peace. Venus could dance for hours, which is truly what passion and joy is all about. You can find their dance as well as other incredible dancers at Matinee Dance Space, so make sure to check them out. And Venus, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad you're able to make it. So before you dance, we were going to do a really quick interview section. So do you mind if we get into those questions?
No problem.
Okay, so my first question is, how does dancing make you feel?
Dancing makes me feel at peace and calm. It's just a good activity. Whenever I'm feeling stressed or anxious or bored, I just dance.
Yes, of course. And my next question is, what is your favorite thing, like event or routine, or it really could be anything that you've done with Matinee Dance Space?
Just the community in general. Whenever you want a new opportunity or just someone to teach you anything, they're there, and it's really helpful.
I love it. Next, what inspired you to start dancing in the first place?
Well, to be very honest, it started off as, a joke between friends, but then throughout the journey, I found that I really liked it and the way that it made me feel. So I stuck with it.
That's beautiful. And do you have any social media where you post your own dancing videos or things that we can go check out?
Oh, no. No, I keep it very private and it's only on Matinee. Mhm.
Okay, sounds great. So we can get into your performance if you would like, and then I have a few questions for after that.
No problem.
Awesome.
Oh, maybe tell them you have to mute for music.
Oh, and I do have to mute for music purposes, but I will tell you which songs I am dancing to.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. All right, that was my first dance. I danced to Girls Need Love by Summer Walker, the remix. And the next one will be Gingerbread Man by Melanie Martinez.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really beautiful.
That was my performance, my choreography to Gingerbread Man by Melanie Martinez. And I have another one, and it will be Teacher's Pet by Melanie Martinez.
Awesome. I'm so excited to see it.
Thank
That was really great again. And to
Thank
have
you.
choreographed it by yourself, wow.
That was my choreography and my performance to Teacher's Pet by Melanie Martinez. Thank you. The last one will be Mad Hatter by Melanie Martinez.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
that was my performance. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for performing. That was truly beautiful. And the fact that you choreographed so many of those was just incredible. I am blown away.
Thank you.
So I have a second half of an interview portion. But if you need a moment to catch your breath, he can give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just being able to dance like that and have that feeling be so freeing is truly like one of the best things in this world. And a lot of people have a hard time finding, extracurriculars or just activities that bring them so much joy. And so seeing that you have so much joy from dancing is just really a blessing. And that's what Youth Speak Up Sing Out is all about, is being able to see youth artists and youth creatives just do their thing and have joy doing it. So I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask the first question, but I can talk some more still if you have to catch your breath.
Oh no, I'm good, but thank you.
Okay. So how would you define youth intersectionality?
Intersectionality?
Intersectionality, yeah.
On what terms? Like just the world in general, or?
Yeah, the world, or wherever you see it present itself.
I think intersectionality is everything, and I think it's everywhere. That phrase where it's like you could be walking past someone and in the next few years they could be your lover or like your best friend. I think as a human race, every industry, everything that you do all boils down to one. We are a human race, right? And as much as some people don't agree with it and try to find differences between us, we all need each other to survive.
Wow, yeah, definitely. And that's one of my favorite questions because we get to ask everyone that. And there's just so many different answers and there's so many different ways that you can look at it. But what I get from most people is that it is the through line throughout almost everything. So thank you. My next question kind of ties into that. In what ways does youth intersectionality present itself in your life? Like, how has it impacted you?
I think it's impacted me in a lot of different ways. I am, by part of the BIPOC community. I am a lady, right? And when you really look at it, everything is like a production of everything else. You know what I mean? I get affected by sexism, racism, etc. And it all boils down because, we all get affected by something, right? So it's just intersectionality is very hard, it's very difficult, and some people don't like to come to terms with it. But the best you could do personally, I think, is just be the best person you can be, right? Because some people just suck and you just have to be who you are no matter what.
For sure. That's a really unique answer. So thank you. My final question. In life, how does art and activism collide?
Art and I think you can express your activism through your art. And personally for me, with dance, there's so many different types of dances, and watching people dance and coming up with ways to express their mourning or their sadness or whatever emotion is just so beautiful, because sometimes words don't exactly work and sometimes you just don't want to talk. And when you find something that you can truly express whatever you're feeling, especially since with this question, activism, if you're talking about some sort of situation like being a person, a BIPOC person, you could just really express however you're feeling through your art. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a great thing.
Truly. Well, thank you so much, Venus, for coming and joining us tonight. I loved your dance. It was incredible. To our audience, make sure to check out Matinee Dance Space on Instagram to see Venus and her friends and colleagues dance. They're incredible. Coming up next, we have Kendall Poetry, which will be great at 10 o'clock. So make sure to join us then. Once again, I would like to thank our sponsors, which is 350 PDX, Friends of Noise, and City Repair, as well as our community partners, Pocketbook, Morpheus Youth Project, Friends of the Children, Bodecker Foundation, and Next Up. Once again, my name is Katie Miner. Please join us in 10 minutes. Thank you. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our fall series of Youth Power PDX's Speak Up, Sing Out event, where we are featuring musicians, panelists, and visual artists from local Portland youth. Check out our website at youthpowerpdx.org for our schedule for the following events, as well as more information about us. And I'd like to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors and community partners, which is 350 PDX, Friends of Noise, and the City Repair Project, as well as our community partners, which is Pocketbook, Morpheus Youth Project, Friends of the Children, Bodecker Foundation, and Next Step. I'm Kaylee Miner, your host for this evening, and I would like to introduce Kendall, our next performer. So Kendall is a 14-year-old poet and organizer with PDX Black Movement. She was born into a family of activists and was submerged into activism at a young age. They have big plans for economic support of the Black community, as well as bringing attention to youth voices. So welcome, Kendall.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's so nice to be here. I'm really honored.
No, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So we have a quick interview section before we get into your poetry. So do you mind if I start with a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so my first question is, what are the things that motivate you to write?
It's kind of just like what has happened to me, things that have already happened, and what people say to me throughout the course of my life. And, you know, it's really like family really is like is the strongest inspiration. You know, as you said, I was born into a family of activists, so they're probably like my biggest inspiration for what I write. And, you know, what I went through at school and like my past life where I grew up, those places influence how I write and how I talk. So those are probably like my biggest motivations is like my family pushing me to write, and and what makes me write is my motivation to write.
Wow, I love that. My second question is, what does youth intersectionality mean to you?
So I was asked this last time. Youth intersectionality means to me, youth taking back power, which is us reclaiming our roots and knowing that our, you know, what our parents and our grandparents, their faults, what they did wrong, recognizing that, remembering that, and applying that knowledge to what we want our future to look like and how we want that to be. And then reclaiming that power that, you know, learning from our ancestors, keeping that always in the back of our mind, keeping that power going and making sure that our power surpasses that, you know, and remembering what they were and taking that, remembering their mistakes. That's the biggest thing, looking at their mistakes and looking what they did right and applying that to our future and making sure our children have the best future that we can offer them. And
Wow.
their grandchildren.
Yeah, for sure. That's so strong. I love that. And this is my favorite question. And building off of that, to you, how does youth intersectionality impact your activism?
I talk about it a lot in what I say. You can sometimes see it in my poetry, that reclaiming that power and knowing that the youth are what going to feed the future, and the future is the brightest, that's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. So I think that, yeah.
I love it. So if you wouldn't mind, I think now's the time for you to share your poetry.
All right, thank you. Let me get it ready. I have two, but they're relatively quick, so to speak, for lack of a better word. Okay, I'm just gonna get into it, and then I'll get into the next one. Okay.
Awesome.
Privilege, a special right, advantage, or immunity only given to a particular person or group. You see, I never really got that word. I think we use it as a way to glance over the truth. It's not privilege, it's rights. The right to walk home dark with a hoodie on and not worry if you're gonna get shot in the back. I guess Oscar Grant and India Kegger didn't have that privilege. The right to talk to a man and not think twice about it might not leave you helpless in the streets. I guess 1 out of 4 women won't have that privilege. The right to go out with your friends and not worry about the money that you're spending might be a part of next month's rent. I guess the 3 billion people in poverty don't have that privilege. The right to be yourself and not worry that people will hate you for it. I guess the 80,000 kids in conversion therapy don't have that privilege. With every system put against them at birth, with every step they take, watch with demonic eyes. I wonder how they take it. I wonder how I take it. Why? Why do we choose to cherry pick what we want to teach and learn? sucked in the matrix, not being able to get out, our history whitewashed and dishonest. You see, I could tell stories of my ancestors about the kings and queens that have come before me, but we choose to never understand the impact they have on us when they're still helping us. This fake word privilege is only one of the roots in the trees of lies that help us protect our fragility. The truth is guiding us, so why are we lost?
Wow, that was incredible. I'm
Yeah.
blown away. I love that. That was amazing.
That one is kind of like about how like America glamorizes privilege. We use it like white privilege, this privilege, but like what we've given them is like basic, and we just given other people less. And that's the entire concept of equity. That's what people have never gotten, is we've given people less. We're not really necessarily giving people more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's one of America's faults. And this other one is one of my favorites. They both are, but this one holds a dear place in my heart. Okay. Black women are one of the most stereotyped group of people, hated almost, going through life always being seen as the villain, never the hero. Her hair is nappy, always got to say something. She's always mad. I feel for her. She's always being hurt. Once there was a Black girl. She changed herself to fit in. She hated the person she changed into, but she still did it. She never got mad or showed emotions because she knew what would happen if she did. But one day, someone called her a word. That word. So she got mad. She yelled, and you could see the fire in her eyes. And she said, and everybody got mad at her. They hated her. And she said, if you're going to hate me, I'll be me, and see if you hate me more. Sadly, they hated her more. And each time she got mad, each time she showed emotion, they painted her as the villain. But she still loved herself. Her hair that grows to the sky and grabs the melanin, hoops that dangle from her ears and make her proud of her ancestors. Her skin that glows in the sun like a marigold. Her voice that speaks volumes around the room. Her eyes like pools of honey ready to be looked into. Her lips big and full that people pay money to have. Her drive and passion like lightning. Her face shape that echoes that of a goddess. I love Black women. That one was like it was an ode to Black women. I think we read a lot of poems that are about like body positivity, and they're about like remembering that you're beautiful and self-love, and that's so important, but we've never seen one dedicated to Black women. And Black women in social media, everywhere you look, are being hated on. And then when we show our features, they get mocked by the community, and then they get repurposed into what it's not supposed to be. And then, but when we did it, it was ghetto, it was trashy, it was nappy. You know, when we do something, it's bad, but when other communities do it, it's looked at as a positive thing. So I think I just wanted to, you know, talk about how Black women are beautiful, our roots are beautiful, what we're born to is beautiful. You know, whatever shade and your hair type, we're all beautiful, no matter what.
You can truly see it in your poetry. That was stunning.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your words. They're really incredible. I have a few more questions for like a post interview. So I'll start. So I read that you work with PDX Black Youth Movement, which is really cool. So what is like the time? What is a time that you felt most empowered while working with them?
Ooh, I think I was okay. We had just, this is a story, but we had just finished up. Not finished. It was in the middle of a protest, so we walked there and then we're walking back. And our end location, we were supposed to have speakers, and I was one of the speakers. And I remember speaking to like this crowd of people and feeling like I was on top of it, like my voice was really being heard. And then I remember it was like, this is really a platform, and I can really just say what I want to say. Well, you know, what I've always had tucked in my back pocket, you know, what's always been suppressed. I can really say that, and these people are going to listen. These people have to listen. So I remember talking about decolonization, you know, performative activism. I remember like just really talking to them about things that I've always cared about, but I've never really seen people talk about. And I wanted to make sure the crowd felt as if they're in all of their roots and all of their hatred had just been pulled up out of the ground, and the roots exposed, so where they felt like they could actually heal and not continue to grow these roots of hate. I really wanted to do that, and I feel like I did that in the best way I could. So that was probably when.
That's incredible. That's so powerful. Also related to PDX Black Youth Movement, are there differences? And I know there are, but like for you, working with youth for change rather than being in the typical where adults are like superior and having your own say in a social justice movement?
Yes, there is a really big difference because older people have a very different they have a very different perspective. So it's really interesting, and youth do too. So they both have very unique perspectives, and you have to learn from both of them in different ways. So it's very different in the sense that when you're talking to them, it's like when you're with somebody older, it's like, okay, I really need to listen. This is my time, so I can pass this on, so I can learn from it, and I can talk about it, so they could just be like a ripple effect. But when I'm, and then and even in older conversations, you still have that, you can still feel like your voice is heard, but that what somebody, if they're in their right place, they can really, give you some knowledge that, you can really feel. When you're in a youth situation, it's like, okay, we're all together, we're all doing this. And it's still hearing unique perspectives that you need to learn from. It's just, a little bit different. I think that's the main difference for me. But it's also like when you're around people your own age, you can feel like you can open up more, stuff like that.
Totally. And what do you think the world will look like if Black youth were the decision makers?
Ooh. It would look a lot different. I say that. I think it would look a lot more equitable, and I think it would look. Everybody would have a lot more respect for each other. Indigenous solidarity, sovereignty. I think that would be, recognizing our land and recognizing where we fit into that. I think that would be placed. I think there would be a lot more land acknowledgement for Indigenous people as well as Indigenous Black people, and a lot more tribes within that. And I think our school system would be built a lot different. I think the school to prison pipeline would start to be demolished, since we're the ones making decisions and we're the main people in that. The police system and the entire justice system would be restructured, and parts of it would even be abolished. So I think that would look a lot different. I think if we were the decision makers, it would just be all around equitable, and we would feel our voice were heard after it being suppressed for centuries.
Definitely. Has 2020, if at all, changed your worldview in any aspect?
Yeah, it has. COVID was really big. I found a lot of peace within myself, and I was able to look at people from a different view, because if when you stop talking to people for a while, that changes. And then the entire movement, the revolution got, lifted so high to this, on a platform that, we've never seen before, even in the civil rights era. So I think that shifted my view on like, what do people already know? What people actually want to know more? What people are faking it? What people are real about it? That changed. It kind of shifted my view on everything. I felt like my voice was more heard, so that made me feel a lot more comfortable. So that shifted my view. It all shifted to a more positive place, in a place where I can actually, see the real from the fake.
I love that. And I've been hearing that a lot, and that like, well, as crazy this year has been, it has allowed like so much peace and finding home in oneself, that with like the speed of our normal routines, like hasn't allowed us to have. So that's great. My last question is, do you have a place where we can find your work online or in person, like IG, a website?
Yeah, I have, you can follow two Instagrams. You can follow my group's Instagram at PDX Black Youth Movement. Movement is spelled MVMT. And then you can follow my Instagram. It's just Kendall Brown Clay, KENDELLBROWNCLAY.
Okay, awesome.
It.
Kendall Brown Clay, PDX Black Youth Movement.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kendall, for being here today. I'm so
Thank
grateful.
you for having me. This
Yeah,
was
of course.
Yeah.
Your
It was
words.
really, fun to work with you guys.
No, I love doing things like this, and your words were truly beautiful. I feel so blessed to have done this and have you here. And thanks to our audience for joining and listening. So we are still continuing this amazing event through the 24th. And if you come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you can watch Miles Saciato, a rapper, followed by one of our core-hosted panels about activism by Rena. And then later at 9 o'clock, you can see Big Poppy Productions, Slug Trial again, and May Anna again. So I hope you all had a great time. One more shout out to our sponsors, 350 PDX, Friends of Noise, and the City Repair Project, and our community partners, Pocketbook, Morpheus Youth Project, Friends of the Children, Bodecker Foundation, and Next Up. Thank you once again, Kendall, for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And thank you to our audience.
All right.